So today, you guys, I want to talk about the real cold hard truth of this overage business. Now, I know everybody heard this saying that nothing good comes easy. Well, I kind of have a different type of belief, but kind of in this business, it's almost like a too good to be true, which means that it doesn't come as easy as it seems. There is a lot of hard work that is involved, but it's not as hard as the real estate game hustle. So for all my real full-time real estate agents that do full-time real estate, it's not as hard as that. I'll promise you that. But what I do want to talk about are the realities of the overage business and the pros about it. I talk about it all the time in my channel about you're just really investing your time and not your money. So that's the upside about overage business. But the cold hard truth about this business are three things. Number one, you got to be a good researcher. Number two, you definitely have to be consistent. And then number three is you must be persistent. You have to be, because the reality of this business and any business is that you have to be consistent on making the calls. This is not the type of business that you get in and you do some fly-by-night, or you just test it out and you just try it and you think that you're gonna, get a good lick in one or two or three calls. That is not how it happens. Matter of fact, I made several calls today and I got hung up. I can't even count how many times I got hung up on the phone. So the reality of this business is that you do have to have thick skin, and you do have to be a good researcher. And what I mean by being a good researcher, the cold hard truth about this business is finding the claimant. Now, you can find claimants because there's more than enough leads to get through a list to find at least 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. I mean, I have list upon list upon list of people to call, but sometimes the numbers aren't right. And so that's the cold reality of this business, is actually getting to the right people to actually file the claim. And then once you even get to the right people, you have to convince them to work with you to actually file the claim. So I just kind of wanted to be honest and transparent about this business. There is a lot of upside, but there also are some downsides to it. And so the reason why I wanted to do this video is to basically talk to those people that really have a passion for helping others, because even when I first started, I was so amped about the money part of it, about getting money for nothing, like just investing my time and making $30,000 or maybe $40,000. I was driven by that, and trial and error had taught me that I can't be driven by that, because if you're driven by that, you will burn out quickly. And so what I had to do after several calls, several failures, is that I had to realize, okay, I am here to help people, and the way you help people is building a rapport and getting to know them and finding out what makes them happy. And once you find out that and building rapport, then you're more than likely going to get a claimant that is willing to work with you. So one of the key aspects that I teach my students or in my mastermind is to not go right in talking about you represent some type of company, or you don't go in as like a salesperson. I always say pretend like it's your aunt or your uncle or your homeboy or your homegirl, and you got some good news to share with them, but you really want to know about their day and how their life is going. One of the things that I do enjoy about this business in this day and age is that you have Facebook, you have Twitter, you have LinkedIn. There's so many different avenues that you can find hobbies, or you can find things about people that you can connect with when you get on a call. But the most important thing I wanted you to get from this video is the cold hard truth. It is work. And if you are not familiar with the real estate game in regards to understanding what APN numbers or researching lots and blocks or maps and different things, it's really important to have a mentor, because you can get frustrated rather easy. Another thing I like you have to have a good heart, because people can see that through the phone. I don't know if you guys probably notice all the time, I always smile a lot. So when I'm on the phone, sometimes people could be like, "You're smiling," and I'm like, "Yeah, how do you know?" Like, so sometimes you have to have the right energy as well. I also encourage you to do time blocking, even when you don't feel like it. I know sometimes I don't feel like it, but once I get into the mode of actually getting on the phone and calling people, my energy shifts, my energy changes. But it's so important to come from a good place when you're working this business, because you will burn out rather quickly if you don't. And I know that we all want to make extra money, right? We all want to get that overage check, that 100,000, that 200,000 check, and split that with the claimant. But like I said in the beginning of my video, nothing good comes easy. And in this business, I don't know about you, but you calling somebody and telling them that you may have between $50,000 or $100,000, most of the time people think that's a scam. So I always teach my students to, not come off right off the bat talking about money, but just basically talk about you work for different government agencies, and you believe that there may be something that's owed to them, and you like to work with them to uncover those funds. But I don't lead with that in my conversation. And the reason why I don't lead with that is because that will oftentimes make people feel uncomfortable, or they may think that you're a scam or you're a collection person. And one of the things that I did learn, if you think about it, we are helping people collect overages on a property they lost. So there's a few things that are going on in that process, right? They didn't have enough money to pay their taxes. They probably lost a family home, or they probably lost somebody that used to live in that home. So there's so many different things that go along in this business that you really have to have tough skin. And so I just want to encourage you, if this is something you really have a true heart and you really like helping people and you about that hustle, this is a business for you. But once again, I don't want to sell any wooden nickels like my grandma used to say. I want you to know the reality of this business. And what the reality is that you have to be consistent. You have to make calls. And no, you're not going to reach every claimant on an overage list. Let's just be real. I mean, there's some days where I look at the list and I start playing tic-tac-toe on the list because I just don't even feel like it. But the reality of that is tic-tac-toe is not going to get me to the end. I literally want to do a challenge of 100,000 in 90 days, because some counties will take that long. But I haven't got there yet. It's teaching too much. But what I really want you to do is realize that if you are interested in doing the overage business, it's a great business to get into. I will talk about in another video, there are several different type of overages, but in this overage group, we're only doing tax deeds. So if this is something that you're interested in, come join my mastermind group, or you could do a one-on-one coaching call with me. If this video was informative, or you liked it or learned something from it, please like and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you on the other side.